Hey guys, SimplyFresh here from Tag TV, giving you a quick update on my Cyclops build for PvE. For the past few days, I have been experimenting with several different builds and have come to the conclusion that there is only one absolute best way to build him. In order for me to achieve maximum DPS potential, Ricochet Blast and Optic Barrage are the only two powers that can do that. Many of his other powers, such as Wide Beam, Piercing Blast, and Optic Devastation, do not provide the damage output nearly as much when you combine Ricochet Blast and Optic Barrage. In order for Wide Beam to be effective, it's most effective when I was very close range, so that did make me more susceptible to enemy damage, and it only hit enemies that were in front of me and only in a cone, so any enemies that were further away or on my left side or right side or behind me obviously were not affected. In order for me to use Wide Beam on those guys, I had to combat roll and constantly reposition myself and basically exert more energy and more effort and exert more spirit for no reason just to do that. So knowing that it's a very inefficient and expensive spirit spending power, the damage output per spirit spent ratio is quite poor. It's just really not worth it. And then when you look at Piercing Blast, again, this is probably one of the worst powers in his tree. Terrible for single target. Even if you intend to use it on multiple enemies, the enemies have to be standing in a line. The hitbox on Piercing Blast is very small, so you actually do have to be quite precise. And again, yeah, you have to hit enemies in a line, which does make you or force you to reposition yourself constantly so you can get them down your line of sight. Other than that, it's pretty much useless. Again, you have to exert yourself, more energy, more effort just to do that. Optic Devastation, this power, it is good for the initial burst, but after that that's it, done. It's good to use once before you engage a crowd of enemies, but then after that you're pretty much, there's no point in using it anymore. It does take some time to cast, maybe up to 2 seconds to cast, around there. Within that time of that animation, you could just use Ricochet Blast and it'll do more damage. It'll do the same damage, if not more, and have the same area of effect. It'll cover the same area that Optic Devastation would. And it's also free to cast, so you can cast it constantly. Optic Devastation, there is some extra animation there when he's casting it, and it does cost quite a bit of spirit. That's just really way too slow, and it does make you stand in one spot, so you are more vulnerable to enemy attacks, and you can't cancel the cast, which is really dumb. I don't know why you can't do that. And then you look at Channel Blast and Explosive Blast. Channel Blast, again, very similar to Piercing Blast. Eats up your spirit, does not do a whole lot of damage, only hits units in your line of sight and that are standing in a line. This power does make you reposition yourself with combat roll a lot, and I did not like that. And if I wanted to hit everyone, I had to sort of rotate left to right or sway left to right just to hit everything, but I can only hit a certain amount of people at one time. And same thing with Explosive Blast. I can only hit one person, and the only time I would have the AoE effect of this, the area effect, is if the enemies are standing really close to each other. But it only hits the first enemy in its path, as it says in the tooltip. So everyone else is fine, while only like 1 or 2 enemies are getting hit. So again, I mean, all these powers, Explosive Blast, Piercing Blast, Optic Devastation, Channel Blast, and Wide Beam, pretty much the same thing as Ricochet Blast, but Ricochet Blast does everything better, more efficiently, and definitely a higher area of effect and much higher damage output overall. And the craziest thing about it is that it's free to cast, so you can literally spam it indefinitely, and boom, crazy DPS. And Optic Barrage is his most powerful single target damage skill. Nothing else can do better, unless you decide to go Optic Blast, but you kind of need to do Optic Blast with Optic Barrage, so there's no point in going here. And Optic Barrage doesn't take up that much spirit anyways, because you'll have Timely Renewal and Uncanny Focus to keep your spirit up. In the case of his other powers, like in Fighting and Tactics, again you'll need Side Roll, Defensive Tactician, and Uncanny Focus. Those are your damage mitigation powers. And without those, obviously you're going to die. Timely Renewal, you'll need a few points in there. That'll restore your spirit when you defeat an enemy and reduce the cost of your spells, all of your powers. Veteran Command, 1 point in there. It's not that important really. Rallying Command, you'll definitely need that against bosses, and 1 into combat roll for repositioning. This build right now, as you can see, is actually for PvP. I've been PvPing a lot with Cyclops, and I'm actually going to main him for PvP specifically. I'm not going to do PvE anymore with Cyclops. I'm going to use like Gambit or Emma Frost or Wolverine for that. But for Cyclops, yeah, pure PvP for Cyclops. I will be releasing a PvP video, like a sort of like a preview build of what skills I'm using, what powers I'm using for PvP. So I'll definitely come out with that soon. But right now, this is just for PvE update. In terms of my gear, same thing. Advanced Metasensory Array, Zero Gen Crystal, Shield Motion Tracker. Again, this artifact is very specific to your playstyle. If you like to play as a far-ranged glass cannon hero, where you just like to be like a kind of like a sniper, this is great for those kind of players. If you like to be up close with Cyclops, then you'll need to use the Netheranium Jewel, because that basically is the opposite of this artifact. It gives you more damage rating on your ranged powers based on how close you are to the target. And Ziggurat Kargul, you'll definitely need this. I feel like you need this on every hero now. It's like the best artifact you can possibly have. And of course, Relic of Atlantis. My gear, in terms of like my body armors, Ruby Quartz sunglasses. I'm not using Phoenix Visor. Ruby Quartz does give me a lot more raw damage and more spirit regen, and it does help keep my spirit up. Phoenix Visor is great if the Phoenix procced more often, because that does do like around 15k or more per proc. Other than that, Ruby Quartz does more raw damage overall. And the Phoenix Visor doesn't give me any points into Ricochet Blast. I'm not sure why, but at least this one is 5 to Optics power, so that gives me 5 to everything. And his unique for his chest, +1 to energy, that is amazing. 6 to optic powers, awesome. 4 to tactics, awesome. That gives me more points into tactical command and defensive tactician. +1 to fighting skill, don't care about that. I don't even use melee at all. Movement speed is great. The health doesn't even matter because I'm squishy anyways. Legacy of Punchclops. Okay, this item is really dumb, but I don't have an alternative right now. +1 to strength, don't need that. Chance to stun when you hit with a trained punch, really don't need that. Attack speed on fighting powers, son of a bitch, why can that not be on optics? Health, don't need that really. The only thing I like about this is the dodge rating and the +6 to all fighting powers, because that does help with my side roll, which does give me more dodge, and then helps with my uncanny focus, which gives me even more dodge. So that is great. With all this, I have 4,500 dodge rating, so I have a 52.3% chance. If I use side roll, and I get that dodge buff, I get 62%, and that is insane. So my dodge rating goes up to 7,000 or more, around there, like 7,200 or something like that. For my boots, I'm using a random cosmic. The stats on it don't really help me. +1 to veteran command, +2 to veteran command, and +3 to piercing blast. I don't care about those. Health is okay. The rare find is okay, but I don't even PvE with them anymore, so it doesn't matter. But the cosmic item, obviously, that's something that's good. +1 to all powers and a 9% chance to become invulnerable for 4 seconds. I don't know why they put a cooldown on this for PvE. The cooldown in PvP is fine, like I was waiting for that, but putting a cooldown on invulnerability for PvE doesn't really make sense. But anyways, I'm gonna definitely spend 500 splinters to get some new boots on this guy. And this mask, amazing mask, I actually got it in PvP when I won a match. I got it from Sif, gives me 885 crit damage, that is amazing, and uncanny focus and optic barrage. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I wish it gave me +4 to optic blast, but whatever. Uncanny focus is fine. Optic barrage, at least I got that. Affixes, still the grade 1, 2, 3, and 4. Crit damage on hit, definitely need that. And my core is obviously lifesteal. Insignia, I still need a better insignia. I don't know what I'm gonna do here, but I definitely still need a better one. And yeah, that is it for my update on my Cyclops build for PvE. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you like to keep in touch with Try Atlas Gaming, you can like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter. Thanks for watching.